Once upon a time, deep in the heart of Earth's wildest landscapes, where the grasslands stretch to the sky and the forests rumble with ancient echoes, roamed a creature as mighty as a tank and as majestic as a king. The rhinoceros, often simply called the rhino, is not just an animal. It's a living piece of Earth's history, wrapped in thick armor, crowned with a powerful horn, and carrying the strength of 1,000 stories. But this mighty beast, a real-life unicorn of the wild, is now walking a razor-thin line between life and extinction, and the world is holding its breath. Rhinos are the warriors of the natural world. With bodies as tough as stone and horns sharper than any sword, they were born to rule. These giants are one of the oldest mammals on Earth, walking the same lands as woolly mammoths and saber-toothed cats. For millions of years, they thundered through Africa and Asia, gracing the lands with their presence like ancient guardians. Their sheer size could stop a lion in its tracks, and their calm strength could make even the winds pause in reverence. But today, these rulers are facing their greatest enemy, humans. What could bring down such a strong creature? Not droughts, not predators, not time, but something far worse, human greed. The rhino's horn, made of keratin just like our nails and hair, is being torn from their faces because of a deadly myth. In some cultures, people believe rhino horn cures diseases, brings luck, or holds magical powers. But it doesn't. It's a lie wrapped in centuries of misinformation, and this lie is costing the rhino its life. Every year, poachers, armed with guns and fueled by money, hunt rhinos for their horns. They leave behind lifeless bodies, broken families, and empty forests. Imagine someone hurting a unicorn just to steal its magic. That's what poaching is. It's not just a crime, it's a tragedy. There were once over 500,000 rhinos. Today, only about 27,000 remain in the wild. Some species, like the western black rhino, are already gone, extinct forever, like a candle snuffed out in the night. Others, like the Javan rhino, teeter on the very edge of disappearance, with barely a few dozen left. Each loss is like tearing a page out of Earth's great storybook, once gone, never returned. Can you imagine a world without rhinos? A world where the forests are quieter, the plains emptier, and the magic of wildness begins to fade. That's the future we're heading toward if we don't act. This is where the real magic begins. Because kids, yes you, have the power to change everything. Rhinos may be big, but even they need little heroes. Children are speaking up around the world, starting wildlife clubs, raising money, and sharing the truth about rhinos. Every time you draw a rhino, talk about them, watch a video, or tell a friend, they live on a little longer in our hearts and in the world. You don't need a superhero cape to save animals. You just need a kind heart, a strong voice, and a wild imagination. The rhino needs you now more than ever. Are you ready? If you were to step quietly into the African savanna at dawn or sneak through the thick jungles of Asia, you might just catch a glimpse of a miracle. Not the kind you find in fairy tales, but a real one, a rhino in its natural home. These gentle giants, despite their rugged armor and thunderous walk, are surprisingly shy, even bashful. They don't go looking for trouble. They love peace, wide open lands, and lazy mud baths that cool their skin and tickle their noses. Rhinos are creatures of routine. They follow the same paths, return to the same mud wallows, and use the same scratching posts, often tree trunks they've worn smooth over years. They're peaceful grazers, chewing on grasses, leaves, and fruits for hours, sometimes with tiny birds riding their backs like best friends. Those birds aren't just freeloaders. They eat the insects off rhino skin and sound the alarm if danger comes near. It's teamwork, pure and simple, a friendship forged in the wild. Each rhino has a story. A mother teaching her calf how to walk without a sound. A lonely bull marking his territory with scent like invisible ink. A pair of rhinos playing in the misty light, their horns clashing, not in anger, but in games of strength. The more you look, the more you realize. They are not beasts, they are beings. Beautiful, soulful, living stories. Even though they look like tanks, rhinos are tender when it comes to family. A mother rhino, especially, is one of the most protective and loving mums in the animal kingdom. She carries her baby inside her for 15 to 18 months. That's over a year. And when the baby is born, it weighs as much as a refrigerator. But to her, that chunky baby is everything. She teaches her calf how to find water, where to find food, how to listen for danger, and how to be strong but kind. They snuggle, they nudge each other, and they travel together for years. And if a threat comes near, watch out. Mama Rhino becomes a whirlwind of power. She'll charge, roar, and stand tall like a knight defending a castle. Sometimes young rhinos like to play, running in circles, kicking up dust, bumping into each other like toddlers at recess. And they talk. Rhinos grunt, squeal, puff, and even hum to each other in ways only they understand. These sounds are like lullabies, warnings, greetings, or simply a rhino version of, "Hey, I'm over here." Their family bond is precious. Every rhino lost to poaching or habitat destruction doesn't just mean one less animal. It means a broken connection, a missing parent, a lonely calf. Saving rhinos means saving love itself. Long before cameras and safaris, humans told stories of magical creatures with mighty horns. Some believed in dragons, some in unicorns. But guess what? Many of those stories were inspired by rhinos. In ancient China, people carved rhinos on pottery and wrote about them in scrolls. In African legends, rhinos were seen as wise, mystical protectors of the land. Even in Indian mythology, rhinos were connected with gods and warriors. For thousands of years, we didn't just hunt rhinos, we admired them, honored them. They were part of our dreams, our fears, our wonder. But somewhere along the way, something changed. Greed crept in. And instead of respecting these magical beings, people began to destroy them. Yet, the magic isn't lost. It still lives in every child who gasps at a picture of a rhino, in every classroom that studies wildlife, and in every artist who paints a horned hero under a starlit sky. That magic is still breathing, but it needs help to stay alive. This is not the end of the story. In fact, it could be the beginning of something amazing. Around the world, heroes are rising, not with swords or superpowers, but with kindness, courage, and determination. Wildlife rangers risk their lives every day to protect rhinos from poachers. They track the animals, guard them, and even comfort orphaned calves who've lost their mothers. Scientists are stepping in too. They're using drones to watch over herds, building safe reserves where rhinos can live in peace, and even exploring ways to clone cells to bring back lost species. It sounds like science fiction, but it's real. Real people fighting to save real lives. Communities are getting involved. In places where rhinos roam, local people are being trained to become protectors. They're learning that living rhinos bring more treasure than dead ones, through ecotourism, education, and pride. Kids in those villages grow up not fearing the rhino, but loving it. And love is the strongest weapon we have. So here we are, standing at a crossroads. One path leads to silence, empty savannas, forgotten stories, and a world a little less wild. The other path is roaring with life, rhinos grazing under the golden sun, calves playing under the stars, and a future bursting with possibility. The choice is ours. What can you do? You can learn. You can share. You can draw rhinos, write about them, speak up when others are silent. You can support groups that protect them, and even raise awareness with just your voice. The internet is a megaphone, and your words can echo across the planet. Remember, rhinos don't need us to pity them. They need us to fight for them. With heart, with purpose, with the belief that one person, especially one child, can change everything. Are you ready to become a rhino defender? To stand up for the wild? Because the rhino's future is not written in stone, it's written in your hands.